I've been doing a lot of videos for YouTube in this room, but we haven't done any sort of studio tour just yet. And I know that for me, when I'm watching YouTube, these are some of the most exciting videos because I'm just that much of a nerd. I like seeing what people's setup is, especially when it comes to some sort of home recording studio, how to make it work in a small room like this. Please remember to hit the subscribe button and the like button and watch the video to the end. Appreciate that. But with that being said, I'm gonna step behind the camera and let's go around the room for the studio tour. All right, so this is the door. When you walk into the room, you'll see these gray acoustic panels, just pieces of cut wood to make the frame. They have the Roxel on the inside. I'm not sure the name of it anymore, but it's insulation. I put these hooks on here that you get from Lowe's, and then basically just some wire, and then there's a screw on the very top of the door, and they're hanging on that. Most of the others, like this one and these two behind the guitars, most of them just leaning up against the walls, because what I've learned is that you can really mess up your walls if you're not sure where you're gonna put your acoustic panels. So for now, this will work. As far as it comes to acoustic treatment, this blanket in the back behind my computer desk is very thick and heavy. Found this online somewhere years and years ago. It's got holes in the top so you can mount it. I believe it just got 2 nails and it's been holding up just fine. Again, there's another acoustic panel right behind the camera. And then these aren't doing much at all, but they're just sitting in the corner. Now back to the entrance of the room. You have this guitar rack. Guitars on here, you've probably seen these before. This is my Fender American Professional Stratocaster. This is my wife's guitar. It is a Taylor. It's a GS Mini. This bass guitar I got at a pawn shop when I was very young. Basically, the pawn shop was going out of business and they said, hey, you can pick out any 2 guitars and you can get both of them for the price of $50. So I picked up this Austin P bass, and then one year for my birthday, I believe, my wife got me some Fender P bass pickups. So I put those in there and it's been working just fine. This right here is an Epiphone Les Paul Jr. It has some P90. It's supposed to be noiseless pickups. They're not noiseless, but they're less noisy than the ones that came with it. This right here is a Fender Player Series Telecaster, but I'll tell you, there's nothing original about it. The only original part, this actually used to be a butterscotch Fender Player Series, but I sanded off the paint, went on StewMac, went on Warmoth, bought the neck, the tuners. Basically everything about the Telecaster is completely changed from when it was a Player Series, except for the body. All the parts, the pickups are the Brad Paisley La Brea pickups. So it's kind of the Frankenstein guitar. The neck I picked is the biggest, fattest neck that they make. That one's pretty fun. This was a Goodwill find. Got for about $20 to play this one on the classical guitar songs. It is a Yamaha C40. Whenever I'm recording, I lean on the Stratocaster as much as possible. If it's something that I can't tune after every like 8 measures or so, the Stratocaster is just very reliable. It's intonated a lot better than most of the others. The other ones just need a little bit of help. And my other guitar you probably see a lot is this Martin OM21 guitar. I got this when I graduated college. It's got one of these, oh gosh, what's the name of the pickup? The pickup I believe we put in here is a Lyric LR Bags. If that's wrong, I apologize. This light right here by GVM, I found this on Mercari, and the cool thing about this light, as you can see, it's putting a bunch of color on the back wall. This one light has a smartphone app that goes with it, and you can scroll through and change all the colors as much as you want. The drums are sentimental. Back when I was learning how to play drums, our youth group at our church, we didn't have drums for the longest time. My parents bought this set And just recently, I was able to bring the set home. This is a Sonar Force 507. So again, it's not the most fantastic drum set, but the main thing for me has always been just putting new heads on the drum. And then I did something just a little fancy. Went on Reverb, somebody was selling these wood hoops, these like Yamaha wood hoops. So installed those. The drum throne, first chair by Tama. And it's got the hydraulic thing. The only problem I have is that sometimes it will just start decreasing its height as I'm playing. That's no fun. This is a Masters Maple snare drum by Pearl. My wife also got this for me one year for my birthday, and one year for Christmas. She got me this Zildjian K Constantinople. This is a 20-inch medium thin ride cymbal. It doesn't have a pronounced bell. I don't do a lot of the clangy sound on this ride cymbal at all, but it kind of works like it can be a crash. It does really good with swells, kind of an all-around deal. And then I'm using Zildjian A custom hi-hats. Don't have any other cymbals, just make it work with those. Here's a neat little thing. This is a snake. So basically, when I am recording drums, if I can't reach my interface, I'll go from the microphone to this box here. And then there's a cable that goes behind all this stuff and goes to my desk, so I can plug stuff into my interface easily with this. This one's by Hosa. Below this is a Fender Bassman. Don't get carried away. This is a solid state version, and it's also made in Japan, which is pretty neat, because from what I can tell, there's not a lot of these made in Japan Fender Bassmans. It's solid state. It's missing the pilot light right here that tells you that it's on or off, which would be handy, but I'm not gonna go digging trying to figure out how to fix it, but it does a good job. Next to it is the Vox AC15. Also got this secondhand, but this was at a Guitar Center, and snagged that one up. Speaking of guitar stuff, here's my pedal board. This is a Peterson strobe tuner. Really enjoyed this one. I need to do a video about this one soon because it's got all these different tunings to it. You can go through and make it have equal temperament, and also there's some artist tunings, like it has the James Taylor specific tuning on here that goes really nitpicky, goes into all the hertz and stuff, detunes or sharpens or flattens some of the strings to give you some really different sound. This was a most recent birthday gift. My wife got this Tube Screamer, this TS808, and this is actually the Keeley modded one. I saw Mick from That Pedal Show. He did a video. Seems to really enjoy this one, and I really like this one. I think this is basically this whole pedal board, if I were doing the whole desert island thing. Of course, tuner is always good to have, especially if you're doing recording stuff. Some sort of overdrive. This one here, the Freelatone FT2Y. This is a digital delay, and man, this thing gets crazy. So as you can see, all the read-offs it has, you can change this stuff based on the beats per minute or the milliseconds. You can change the feedback, how much of the dry signals coming through. You can add all these things like high pass and low pass filters. You can add modulation. This thing is super technical. I also need to make a video on this one soon, so be looking out for those. This one, the Strymon Iridium, I've done a video on this one. You can check that out on my channel as well. This is my amp. So, of course, if I need to plug in an amp, I'm going to plug in an amp. But as I mentioned in my video, most of these YouTube videos I'm doing is 5 a.m. in the morning. It just works best with our family's schedule and me not being very loud. What I can do with this is I can play guitar, I can record guitar, and I can use my headphones. Okay? They are sitting on this rack, and this rack basically just holds the power conditioners. So this is a basic Furman M8X. So all my basic stuff, some of my guitar pedals, I'm plugging into this one. And then below that, we have this new one from Black Lion Audio, PG1. It has just a lot more features. On the back, they have groups of 2. So it'll have things, at least the labeling says digital audio will go in some of these over here. Some of the ones in the middle, it'll say for audio components, computer components, and then more for digital. I'm not sure what the difference is when it separates them, but it also does the cascading thing. So it will power on these first, and then it'll work its way down the line. So that's nifty. All right, these are the monitors, the KRK Rocket 5s. Most of the time I'm using headphones, but these things sit on these crazy heavy stands. These stands are basically made of cast iron. And for a while the KRKs were just sitting on the desk, but I sold the other monitors and put these up, and they do the job. My interface, as I mentioned this in an earlier video, is this Apollo Twin Duo that's running the Black Lion Audio mod. So the mod that they do, one of the things is they add an extra, I don't know if you can see that, there's an optical port on the back here that's been added, and then also some filtering stuff they did with some of the preamps. Sounds great. That's plugged into this UAD audio, goodness. This Universal Audio DSP chip. Basically this has got 4 DSP cards added to the 2, so that gives me a total of 6 that I can use when I'm mixing with UAD plugins. Above that's this PreSonus 2-channel USB interface. I don't have this plugged in at the moment, but it's available if I need it. Here's the Cloud Lifter. This gives me 10 decibels of gain for my dynamic microphones, or if I'm using the SM7B. Here's the Quantum 2, as I mentioned in an earlier video. Hoping to use this one as an external preamp. So these are coming from the Snake I mentioned earlier. 4 channels of that. There's 2 on the front, 2 in the back that you can't see. All the drum stuff is being routed here. What I probably will end up doing is like kick and snare drum up here on the Apollo, and then I'll do tom mics and either overheads or room mics on the back. The hub is this MacBook Pro that has 4 USB-C ports. This thing will toss into my backpack if I need to take it somewhere else to use. It basically just has the Apollo plugged in. It has my main SSD, which has all my studio stuff on it. And then the other side, we have some breakout cables. Basically, I need all these USB ports to make this stuff function. And then this cable here is leading to this monitor. I can't remember the exact model name. It's in the description, but this is a Dell monitor that's 4K, has a very convenient USB port I use for my iLock key. And then also it charges my MacBook as it's plugged in. There's also some cabling so that when I am filming, a lot of times I can switch this to HDMI and I can see what the camera is seeing, but on my monitor. Okay, down here is a Casio Privia. This is a weighted keyboard that my wife had growing up. And so now we use it a lot of times just as MIDI. So it has a MIDI cable made by M Audio, I believe. And these 2 MIDI cables are converted to USB, and then they come into one of these dongles in the back. So I can basically play this keyboard with virtual instruments and sounds that come out of the speakers. I'm not using the sounds of the keyboard at the moment. Another thing here is this SM7B, which gets swapped out on this boom arm with this NT2A. This Rode NT2A has been around for years and years and years at our house. As you can see, it's got some duct tape just nicely holding it together and in place. So I'll swap this out with the SM7B as needed. Now over here we have our other KRK rocket and then the tripod. Let's see. Oh, there's a ring light. This ring light, because the room is so small, this ring light, I usually have it turned this way so that the diffused light hits me in the face. Of course, everyone's got to have a couple of grab bags, which these have, seems like 50 bajillion cables. There's microphone cables in here, there's power cables, there's USB dongles. Over here we have hymnals. We have some mufflers I use when I'm recording drums. And then there's some of my drum mics, like this Beta 52 for kick drum. I just keep these 2 boxes here, and then whenever I need them, I can go over there and grab some stuff. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this studio tour. One thing I didn't mention was the Amazon desk I'm using. It's one of those stand up and sit down desks, but everything I do in here is standing. So I believe there's links in the description for that if you want to check those out. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the subscribe button and the like button, and we'll see you around next time. Thanks for watching.